Hi everybody. I hope your crafting mojo is full and running. Today I was kind of looking for a small bag and I couldn't find one to do something, a project, and I thought I could make my own. So I took a regular bag and started seeing how it was done, and I ended up making a bag, a little bag as such. Now, I've done mine with vellum with a pearl finish, but you could do them with paper, you can do them with vellum, you can do it all kinds of things. So I'm going to show you what I did, and maybe it'll come in handy for you. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, what we're going to make today is a bag for different reasons. If you're making a journal, you want a bag. If you want a treat bag to put something in and you just don't have one handy, you can make one. And you can make one that in a splash in no time at all. And make it the size that you want, which is important. So this is what happened to me. I needed some. I made some with vellum. To make this bag, I'm going to use a piece of the Country Floral by DCWV. It's a 12 sheet with foil, and there's both two sides, but we're going to use this side. I like it because you'll be able to see the inside, and I think it'll be pretty lovely. What we're going to need is paper trimmer. You're going to need some scissors. You are going to need a scoreboard. And maybe if you want to, we can use a hole punch, and I'll show you why. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure for the size that I want a 4-inch width for the bag, like 4-inch wide. So I'm going to cut it at 10.5. I want to use as much of my paper as I can. No waste. It's a lot better that way. And as far as the depth, it's the same thing. How long do you want it? Well, this is another 12 inches. No, that's 10.5, and this is 12 inches. So let's do it with this to see how far this goes. So the next step that you're going to need is you're going to need your scoreboard. And because my bag is going to be a little longer, I'm going to take out my bigger board here. And we're going to start scoring. It's about as simple as that. We're going to take this right now, and we're going to score at the following, okay? We are going to take it on the 10.5 inch, okay? So we're 10.5 inch here. And at the 10.5 inch, we are going to score at 4 inches all the way down, 4 inches. And then we're going to score at 4.5 inches. About a half an inch. Let's go full in, let's go 4.5 inches. And then we're going to go a half inch more, which is 5. Then 6, 7, 8, 9 is going to be your next panel, a 9-inch. And then we're going to go 9.5, and we're going to score at 10. Now, these are going to give you the half-inch score lines. That's going to be what is going to determine the thickness of your bag. So if you're planning to put a big piece in there, you'd have to go like an inch. So you probably need the whole 12 inches of your page. But for a smaller one, this is what we're going to do. Now, you're going to flip the sheet over to one side, and then you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch all the way down. 3/4 of an inch all the way down. And then you're going to flip it again the other way on the other end. And then on this end, you're going to score it at 1 inch. Okay, so we got that. We're done with our scoring. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see this from the light, but I have a score mark here, score mark there, and here, and here. So on the 1 inch, border here, you are going to take your scissors and you are going to cut up to the line. I'm going to flip it over because I can see so much better like so. So I'm going to cut up to the line, and then you're going to take the first score mark and you're going to do the same thing up to the cross score line here. And then you're going to go on the other side of the score line that goes this way, and you're going to cut a piece. This is going to become the bottom of your bag. All right? So this is why you need to do it this way. So then at this point, you're going to go on to, you're going to skip the next line and do the same thing on the following one. Okay, everybody? We'll recap this before we fold it, just to show you. And then you're going to go to your last score line, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut in. You're going to skip one, and you're going to cut in. Cut in here. But here, what you're going to do is you're going to cut, instead of cutting this way, on this little block here, you're going to cut all the way down, like so. Have you got that? So let's recap this. You might be able to see the lines better this way. On the 1 inch end, you are going to cut up to the cross line here. You're going to cut this way. This is so it won't bulk when you start flapping everything up into one another. Then you're going to do the same thing, a V on the next score line, as so. Then you're going to skip this, the middle one here, and you're going to go to the next one, and you're going to do the same thing. Then you're going to cut across on the, because this is going to become the other side of the bag, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut, skip one line, and then cut across. All the way across, not in a V at that point. All right? So we have that. Now, this is going to be like for a bottle or something because it's going to be a long bag. But this is what we're going to do. Now, we're going to start folding. You're going to fold. You're going to burnish. You're going to fold. You're going to burnish. You're going to fold again. Make sure your folds are straight, and you're going to burnish, okay? It's important that it's burnished because the bag will fall together a lot easier. If you don't burnish, you end up having rounded edges and sometimes crooked edges, and it's kind of not fun, you know. You want a nice bag. You want a little bit of finesse in it. And I'm all about finesse, as long as it doesn't take a whole lot of time. I wouldn't be good on an assembly line because I get bored. I never finish with what I start. I always add, you know, I've said this to you guys before. For me, more is more. Like, I just love to add. That's why I'm such a fanatic on junk journals. I absolutely love my junk journals. And they don't have to be junk. Like, I have tons of embellishments, and I just can't seem to have enough because of that reason. I just love to do it. And when I decide, because I don't drive, whenever I have a chance to pick it up, I pick some up, because that way there, it makes it so much easier than having to ask my husband, please drive me, I need this or I need that. When I see it, I get it. Anyway, let's go back. So I've burnished all the lines, okay? So we're going to end up with a bag looking like this. Okay, this is not going to be a thick one, guys. So, you know, remember that this is at a 1/2 inch or a full inch with the center fold. If you want it thicker, if you're thinking double that amount, well, then you'd have to double the amount and keep going that way. If your paper is not big enough and you really want to make a bigger bag, there's nobody stopping you to attach another piece of 12 by 12. And start with that. And then you end up having a 24-inch piece by 12 inches. There's just no reason why you can't do it. But it's all the same thing. So let's get going here. So what you're going to do at this point is you're going to put your glue. I'm going to put the glue on the outside of that tab, the outside of this tab, and the outside of this tab, okay? But this one here, I'm going to put it on the inside. All right, so you got that? outside, outside, outside on the fold, and this one on the inside. Because what you're going to do now is you're going to fold it this way like a box. You're going to square it up, put that in here, put that in there, like so. And what I find is that when you do put some tape here and some tape there, or glue, you end up reinforcing the bottom, which is important. You wouldn't want it to fall apart on you, would you? So now you're going to put some tape on this side. Now you can do one of two things. One of two things. You can either fold it inside, which would make a nice clean box, or you can take it and put it on the outside. It's entirely up to you. I've done some both ways. If you do it this way, it's good to put the tape before, if you're just going to use a tape gun, or if you're going to use score tape, then you're kind of free to go, because it's a very sticky tape and you don't need to put a whole lot of pressure. But like I said, that's entirely up to you, whatever you feel that you want to do. Alright, so now I'm going to pull off this tape. My stubby fingers, I can never grab onto it right. Although I use enough of it, you'd think I'd learn by now. Alright, so I took my tape off. I am going to match the corners here to make sure that my bag is flat, like so. I want it to match, 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 match on my crease line. There. Whoops, I got you out of camera there. Okay, so this is good. Now I can attach my bottom, because if I didn't attach the bottom first, if I did attach it, to me it would be a little harder to do it up, like to do the full the sides. What I normally do is I'll just take my ruler and put, if it's too long for my hand or something, I have a, oh, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, guys. So see how pretty that is? And there's your bag. This here you'll fold on the inside, all the way in the inside like so. And take your bone folder and then bring it down so you'll have a natural fold to it. And then do the same thing on this side, down, fold it like so. And then I suppose there probably is a special way to do this. So this is how I do it, because I'm self-taught. So might be another trick to it, making it really easy. I'm not sure. But I just bend it over. I crease it up. I bend it over. And I burnish it. And there we have our bag. And it's all ready to go. Now, what we do with this, the reason we have a score line here, guys, is with this, you can fold it inside, like so, or you can take it, this is the way I like it, you fold it backwards, okay, or frontwards, but I mean, you'll see why. You can take your hole punch. Remember I said a hole punch is optional, because you could take a dowel, or not a dowel, but something to make a hole, crocodile or something. And then with this, you can make one hole, and then you could put a ribbon across from it. Or you could put two holes and put a handle on it, like I have done here. See, this one here, I put two of them. And this is how you make the bag, guys. It's really simple. I hope I didn't confuse you by saying you can go big, go small, whatever. But it all comes down to the measures. Whatever width you want to make your bag, whatever you want to put into it, keep that in consideration for the thickness here. The width is important, and then after that it's the height, and you're good to go. Every bag is pretty much made the same. And another one that I've made here, and I made this one. This one here, this is how big it is. It's about the size of a candy bag that I used to fill up for 10 cents. When I think of that, I just shake my head. And all I did here, I did it with vellum paper, because I wanted to do like a glassine bag. I took my granddaughter's wavy scissors there. I forget which one they were. Not that it matters much. Oh yeah, it would have to be the last one I pick, wouldn't you know it? last one, guys. This one here. And they're pink and shears is what they are. And I cut the top of the bag, makes it look like a bag. Now, something else you could do with this, if you wanted to go retro a little bit, I guess, you could take a little punch of any size that you have. If you have a little one like this is a 1-inch punch, but you could also do this to it. And then you have a regular little bag punch. All right? So this is like for a little treat, the same thing, another type of bag. I just made it very small. And the same thing, you put it down. Now, vellum is a bit, not that it's tricky. When you score it, if you score too hard, it's going to break a lot easier than the paper will, that's for sure. So that's what it is. And I hope some way you guys can enjoy this. And it can come in handy for you. This is Yvonne signing off until our next one. Bye-bye. I thought I'd show you the finished product once it's all closed up for the bag. If you were going to give someone this as a gift or something, you could embellish it. I just wanted to show you quickly what I did. I just put some flowers and some butterflies, and I always add up a little charm. And on the back side, you could always add your tag. But you know, there's so much you could do, because you could add, you know, you could make your own. I make my own embellishments with polymer clay, and then I paint them and so forth, and I do these things. But there's so many things you could do by just adding some embellishments and making it pretty for you and for the recipient. That's what I wanted to show you. Bye-bye.